am working on something else for the next video, but if you see part 2, you'll know I am struggling and I was forced into posting part 2 against my will by future me. Whoops! Hey everyone, it seems I jinxed myself for the last video because I ended up scrapping the thing I was working on and then I just kinda struggled with this video, which delayed everything, but we are so back. I'm not gonna dilly-dally too much since this video is already a week late. We're starting our first pet to human design with Ushi is a member of the Arataki gang, and in-game, the leader of said gang, Arataki Ito, summons him by throwing him at enemies. Despite being essentially just a bull, he has an array of impressive skills like a good sense of direction, he knows how to exorcise ghosts and yokai, although Ito is the only one who understands what he says because he communicates only in moves. Since he's a bull, I pretty much immediately imagined him as a really big buff dude. I kept his skin darker since his yellow markings wouldn't pop out as much otherwise. Since I wanted to keep all these designs fully human, I gave him a metal headgear where his horns would be attached. I used the roof he wears in his original design as tassets of sorts. I wanted to give him shorter hair at first, but settled on giving him a pretty big ponytail in the end. The final design is pretty much identical to the sketch. I wanted him to have lots of red as a reference to his original inspiration, the Akabeko toy. His design was honestly the most straightforward out of the bunch, and as someone who doesn't draw buff dudes very often, it was a really nice little exercise. And here he is in all his glory. I love the idea that he looks big and menacing, but is actually the chillest, most reasonable man on earth, imparting random words of wisdom. Here's a chibi of him and Ito about to start a sumo match. I had to add Shinobu as the exasperated and reluctant referee. The second design is Goro's teeny tiny dog companion, Shiro. He only appears during gameplay, so he's not really a character compared to all the other pets so far, but I still wanted to try my hand at making him a design, and oh boy, was it hard! The time-lapse you're seeing is actually my third attempt at his design because I just could not make something I liked. I kept making him either too similar to Goro or too similar to a member of the Shogun's army. In the end, I kind of settled on making him mirror Goro's design in places since they were both inspired by Shiba Inu. I wanted him to look more like a foot soldier, so I kept his outfit very simple. I'm not completely happy with what I ended up with, but I do think he looks distinct enough that you can easily tell him and Goro apart, while still very much looking like they're linked. I turned his hat ears, I guess, fully black so they wouldn't read as actual dog ears as much. And here's the final design. As you can see, I did go back and change a few colors that were bothering me, and while it's still not perfect, I am a little happier with the final version. Here's a chibi of him and Goro. The last design on the list, I actually wasn't entirely sure if I could count as a pet. Kulain Anbar is actually a doll created by Kolei that she uses in combat. Doesn't emote or really do anything, but I figured, you know what, I have nothing to lose but my time and my sanity, so let's do it anyway. Since the doll was named after Amber and the Kulain part could be both a play on Kolei's name and translated to puppy, and is apparently a term of endearment, don't quote me on that, I'm not actually sure if that's true, I decided, you know what, we're making the doll a girl. Honestly, just like with Shiro, I struggled. I wanted to make her a young girl at first because of the word puppy, but I ended up scrapping that idea and settling on the girl the same age as Colleen. The cloak was easy enough to integrate, but I did have trouble coming up with a personality or outfit for her. In the end, I leaned into the taciturn look the doll already has and gave her darker skin kind of on a whim, to be honest. She was reminding me too much of Raven from Teen Titans, so I wanted to distinguish her more. I really wanted to give her a big scarf as a nod to Kolei's design, and I also gave her shorts and boots that were reminiscent of what the female forest rangers wear. It felt fitting since she'd be following Kolei around on her patrols. And here's the final design. Despite a lot of struggling, I'm very happy with how she came out. I like to imagine that despite her demeanor, she's very happy to help, although it's often hard to tell because she just doesn't emote or talk much. Here's a chibi of her and Kolei. And there we go. This was a lot harder on me than the previous video. I am praying I don't have to suffer this much for part 3. Also, y'all? Huh? Thank you so much? I'm bamboozled, flabbergasted. I'm so happy so many of you like my stuff. No promises on what the next video is gonna be this time. I ain't jinxing myself again. It'll be a surprise for both of us. In the meantime, thanks for watching and see you next time. Bye bye!